I'm Lando Cal Experience. Glad to make your acquaintance.
What's up, y'all? This is RVS.
This is ROD, aka Rated R.
And we are the We Coming For You cast. And we talk about pro wrestling from a black dude's perspective. Tell them what they can expect on this here podcast.
Oh, we gonna give you all the raw and dirty and everything black from AEW, WWE, Impact Wrestling, and any other wrestling in between. If you want your wrestling unfiltered, uncensored, and you want it raw, you need to subscribe to the We Come For You cast.
Right here on SOLC Network.
We this DC talk today, bro.
Hey, we back. Lando Cal back in the building. Man, we got the full crew in here. Ted said he'll be here momentarily, but we got Jules, James, and Steph, everybody in here. As you see from the title, we talking about the DC Cinematic Universe, or the DCU now, right? Oh,
yes, sir.
Jules kind of really called this out. I know Jules and Stephen already said he feels strongly on his side. Jules, you have been super active in the Marvel vs. DC group. If you have not gotten there on Facebook, make sure you join our Marvel vs. DC group. I'm gonna let you take it from here, Jules, with your discussions and your feelings on the new James Gunn universe.
It's lingering, man. It's still lingering with the whole universe, huh?
Yeah, go ahead. It's on you. It's on you. I'm letting you jump off.
No, really, honestly, man. I just think the lingering is too much. I think if you're gonna reboot this, it should have been rebooted. Cancel everything. That's just where I'm at with it, because you can give all those new movies to HBO Max, Netflix if you want, and just let it rock. Even with the Batgirl thing, give them all, and then just reboot it completely. Because I feel like you're still lingering with this old vision, and yet you're gonna keep people saying restore the Snyderverse by doing so. By keeping the Flash in, cutting out the Superman, Batman little clips, doing all that stuff, it's just like you're still holding on to this previous, you know what I'm saying, universe that you so-called trying to reboot. And then you hear the stuff that Gunn talks about, man, when he's saying, previous, management was effed up and all that. It's like, come on, man, you can't do that. You can't throw him under the bus for being kind of stuck in the middle trying to figure out how to get this money and still satisfy fans. We get it. There was a universe in play. It just kind of Voltroned on everybody because you're trying to include so many different ideas and trying to get the general audience to still rock up, to rock on with it. But I just feel like let it go, man. Let that Flash go. Let that Aquaman go. All of it. Just, hey, you want to start fresh and start fresh. Gunn know what he's doing. You trying to wipe out this man's I guess what the universe he created, so to speak, but yet you're still holding on to a couple of the pieces and you saying silly stuff like, you know what I mean? So it's not, you know what it is. When you got two powerhouses coming together, that money not looking like the billions that Avengers was pulling in and all that in some cases. So yeah, that's gonna, management's not gonna be right there. You know what I mean? Not everybody gonna be on the same page. I just feel like if Gunn's gonna come in and San Fran's gonna come in or whatever his name is, start fresh. Let's go fresh. Let's really go fresh. But, that's where I'm stuck at with it, man. I just feel like Gunn ain't done nothing to me, not to me, but to bring in that money, like production-wise. And I feel like, why is Warner Brothers still banking on this dude so heavy? Like, what are you flashback into 2014? You know what I mean? Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's just, it's a little much, man, when you think about it, man. I wish homeboy that did the Batman took it over when they said they tried, but I'm telling you, it ain't a good move, man. It's like a slap in the face to fans who still fight. Yeah, at the end of the day, you want us to chuck it up, but then you're still lingering with, this whole Flash thing. Oh, it's one of the greatest superhero films. I'm cool, man. We let it go. Let all it go, dog. I'm over it, B. Yo, Steph, I'm over it, man. I'm telling you, man.
Oracle, let's go with you, Oracle. What you got? Then we'll go to Steph next after you.
You know, I do feel where Juice is coming from. You know, it's just like, you know, if you're gonna redo everything, then redo everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of like I was saying, like right before the show, like they was taking like lingering parts from the DCEU and just bringing it over, like the parts that feel like that was the successful part, like the Shazams and the Aquamans and stuff like that. Which, you know, I did enjoy Shazam, I did enjoy Aquaman, I did enjoy it definitely for what they were, because they, to me, I definitely, you know, rocked with those movies. But I do understand where Jules is coming from. Like, if you're gonna do it over. And if anything, you kind of have a blueprint already created. I mean, and to me, the blueprint really has nothing to do with live action. It's animated. Yeah. You have like how Bruce Timm did back in the day in the 90s and early 2000s with like the Batman, the Superman, the Justice League joints, and then, you know, like, you know, with how the DCA had a movie universe that just ended like a couple years back. That started with Flashpoint Paradox and ended with Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. That right there, that was the whole bill right there. So, you know, a lot of people really, and that was probably like the best reception that DC probably ever had, as far as like, you know, as far as like a universe is concerned, because it was cohesive. It told a lot of good stories, you know, the voice acting, everything, the stories were on par, the action was on par, like everything that someone wanted for a live action version, you got it in the animated sense. Like everything we wanted was there. So you kind of already have a blueprint to work from. Now, as far as like what he's doing, like what kind of stories you want to do, like he's trying to take like stuff like from like All-Star Superman and Superwoman World of Tomorrow, and he doing like the Authority and Creature Commander, like I'm totally fine. And then he's trying to do a True Detective version of the Green Lanterns with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Like I'm with it. Like I'm like those ideas, I'm with it. But at the same time, you know, let's not have a repeat of what happened with, you know, people rushing and trying to keep up with the Joneses. Like at this point, take your time. Just take your time. Worry about telling a good story that follows source material, because that's what a lot of people that's like DC stuff, like myself, it's all about the source material. Can it stay faithful to the source material? And if you're not going to have people that's in a writing room or producing or directing that's going to be wanting to stay faithful to the source material, just going to get them out the way, because that's what's not going to, it's not going to translate well if you're going to try to change stuff. It's kind of like The Witcher on Netflix. Like how Henry Cavill was all gung ho for it because he was a big fan of the book and the book series and video game series, and how he wanted, he said, hey, if I'm gonna play Geralt of Rivia, I want this to be just like the book and the games do it. That's like, and because that was what works. But you know, first season, because I watched the first season and it was perfect, but I didn't get a chance to watch second, third, or the spinoff joint because not only I just didn't have time, but then when I heard that it wasn't following what it needed to follow, it was kind of deviating from stuff like, the source material is boring. We went, it's like, nah, don't do that, because if you like, don't do that. Like if you ever got everything right there, kind of work with what you got right here. So, like I told y'all a while back, like after Zach did his, after he did his version of Justice League, that came out HBO Max, I was cool with everything DCU being done with after that. So to me, that's the end of it. So to me, in my mind, I'm done with that's where it's ending at. So if you can bring in something new and fresh, but like I said, taking your time and staying faithful to the source material, you know, and one idea I will say they should take from Marvel is make movies around the character. Like, don't make it as a straight just superhero movie. Make it like a movie with superheroes in it, but it caters to them, kind of like how, like with like Captain America, like with the Captain America trilogy, like especially with Civil War and Winter Soldier, like those are spy flicks. Like with the Ant-Man series, heist movies, you know what I'm saying, like stuff like that. Like, so if you go like the right direction, like kind of like how he was talking about, have like the Green Lantern Corps be like a True Detective style joint with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, that's a good step in the right direction. Like, now if you're doing something like that, that's perfect. Now if you do stuff like that and keep it like that, but at the same time stay faithful to, like, you know, to the universe and source material, like don't make everything the same tone, just make everything like its own individual tone for what it is, but still keep everything connected, it'll work just fine. And it's not like WB. See, the problem is it's not like WB doesn't have the properties to eliminate Disney and Marvel. They have that. Like it's been there for decades. Like they have everything they need to literally, they could have outdid Disney 10, 15 years ago. They could have easily outdid the MCU 10, 15 years ago with what they had, because they have the two big ones. They have Batman and Superman. So how you mess up on that and just make everything Batman? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? No, that's what I'm saying.
Batman and Superman aren't big to these kids. Me and Jules talking about last time while I was getting my haircut. These kids don't care about Batman as much as we do.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying.
Black Panther and like.
Yeah. But that's the whole point I'm making. The whole point I'm making is they had that to where they could have grew that in, and they could have still been how they've been. But unfortunately, they dropped the ball, and it's too many hands in the cookie jar, and that's kind of what messed that up. You know what I mean? So because everything was trying to keep up with the Joneses, like, oh well, you know, because anytime you can make something Marvel that's not Spider-Man or X-Men be as popular as it was, like with the Avengers, like with Guardians of the Galaxy and Moon Knight and all this other stuff, and you make those, starting to make those own household name, like the B and C list cats, like make those big, and then like I said, you like you have the A-list people in comics, and you kind of fumble with that ball. You fumble with the bag and fumble with that. It's like come on, y'all got it. Y'all could have did it and easily, but again, too many hands in the cookie jar. So I'm curious to see what James Gunn do. You know, I'm really curious. You know, because I did like the second Suicide Squad movie. I did like Peacemaker a whole lot. So
I liked the Peacemaker a lot. Like I thought that was dope.
For real, I did too, and so that's one. Like I'm curious, and I'm willing to give him a chance to see what he's going to do. Like it looks like he may go on a step in the right direction, but like I said, it just all comes down to taking your time and staying faithful to the source material, and not just making everything one specific tone. Just make everything its own different tone, but keep everything connected, kind of like how that'd be the one thing, like I said earlier, take that part from the MCU, but that's it. Don't take nothing else. Like let everything else be its own stuff. You got the stories, you got the characters, it writes itself. So go from there. But that's where I'm at with it right now.
Yo, you referenced something when you said stay true to the stay true to like the comics and all that. And, you know, when you mentioned how the animations got it right now. The animations don't have the pressure of cinematic releases. So it's like you get to really go in deep with those animations where we get to see the true like story behind it. And in the films, that's where the whole issue is with Warner Brothers. Looking to set a tone financially and win in that sense. So and I think that's what hurts them, because you kind of got to break it up, man, and it can't be Titans and Doom Patrol and all whatever. I don't even think that's them, but it just you know what I mean. Like Marvel did it right when they started with that Dead. I'm telling you, when they broke down these little stories, still connected to that universe. It's just when they went goofy with the Iron Fist and all that, they killed it. But that was ideal because we got to see the stories that were smaller, Punisher and all that, and really like that was a fulfillment. Like, yo, that was it. You know what I mean? So you had that balance. You know what I'm saying at that point.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. But it still stay more or less faithful to the source material that was being told too. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So like say if anything you want to take from the MCU, take that part, like how they did that. Like that is what you should go for and strive for. I'm not saying it has to be exactly every single story that has to be exactly no, you don't have to do that. But if you take in like the bulk of the story and kind of like telling it, like you could, like for example, you could do like I was watching the Long Halloween joint the other day, man, for the animated version. That could be told in a live action setting so well. So well. Like, dude, like something like so well. You can do something like that. Like it's there. Like you could easily do that. But at the end of the day, it just kind of depends on like what direction, how they want to go to. But like I said, that's kind of where I am with just, just take your time with it and don't do the keep up with the Jones, man. Like I say, you got time. It's enough space and stuff out there to do it, man. Just take your time with it for real.
All right, Steph, you up?
So I absolutely agree with both James and Jules on their approach with it. Like James, I am very interested to see how Gunn is going to end up approaching a lot of this stuff. Now we've seen some of his work before. We've seen it, the attention and the love that he has for the characters that he deals with. He also tends to work with the same people, which is good, which is not bad. It's not a bad deal. We see it a lot of times. We see that a lot in the industry. His approach to the DCU now, I think, again, to Jules' point, he should have scrapped a lot of the stuff that was previously there, because if he was going to keep a lot of this stuff, then we should have still gotten Batgirl.
Yeah,
I think that does a disservice not only to that actress who put in that time for that movie, but also Michael Keaton as well.
Mm-hmm.
The work that they did to reprise that role, and that was setting him up for the Flash film.
Yeah.
You probably should have still kept well, no, I think Supergirl was gonna actually be in the Flash movie, not Superman, right?
Yeah, Supergirl.
Okay.
But they
Supergirl.
said they had some film of Superman and Gal Gadot, and Wonder Woman to throw in there, but they cut them. I don't know how true that is, but
Yeah. So, but I wonder if they're gonna keep her for that Supergirl movie, which I'm very interested in that storyline. I think that's probably one of the dopest things I heard out of all the slate that he's putting together. Is the idea that we're getting a more jaded character that's flawed, that's been through a whole lot of nonsense. Like we have the Clark, we've seen the Clark Kent Superman storyline, his origin growing up. Yeah, his planet blew up, but he had a loving family to bring him up, this, that, and the third. Then you have this other character who literally watched her people die like in front of her, only to come to this planet and has to learn how to not be damaged, what I'm saying, by the trauma that she dealt with before.
And this other dude that's your cousin.
Right, this other dude that's your cousin that's living it up.
Yeah, got a new crib, got new kicks.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And you done came from the projects, and you've been in stasis, and he was younger than you. You wake up, he older than you.
He older than you, right? Your big little cousin. Your big little cousin got the fresh J's on. You still rocking those dirty Force Ones.
That's crazy.
He's like, man, I got adopted by a good family.
Yeah, like he got the Sega. You got you got the Nintendo. Not, you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't hitting like he hitting. It's messed up. So it's like, I'm really interested in seeing how that dynamic is going to end up being.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to do what they typically do in Hollywood, which is go with the younger casting for all of this stuff, so they can actually have that longevity feel. And quite honestly, it's not even just Hollywood. It's in the industry period when it comes to storytelling. People gravitate towards the young characters and watching them grow. That's why people love Goku so much. Like, we started off with Goku when he was young, and then we've seen him grow up and become ridiculously powerful every single season. Like it's ridiculous. Same thing with Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No, they like to see the Spider-Man in high school, not the Spider-Man who got bit senior year and now in college and now he's just swinging around the city. Like, we like seeing the troubles that he goes through as a adolescent and trying to balance this work life balance type situation.
You think that's what messed up Spider-Man 3 back in the day?
I think what messed up Spider-Man 3 is that one, they didn't have proper guidance. We didn't have proper guidance when it came to superhero movies back in the day.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Sam Raimi did what he could, but no, Sam Raimi didn't even do that movie, did he?
The third one,
he did.
Yeah, he didn't even. So it lost the.
No, he did do 3. He did
do 3, right? Because he was supposed to do a 4. But because
he just had too many. It was too many characters is the problem.
Well, that was a big problem.
Well, so at that time, because we've seen how they can actually do multiple characters in a movie now.
Yeah,
but I mean, then you couldn't do that then. You
couldn't do that then. It was too much.
So you had too many characters, plus you had this dude out of high school. That youthfulness that draws Spider-Man fans was gone eventually.
They
You
they
know?
didn't do enough building up of Eddie Brock. They just been like, this is Eddie Brock. Now he's Venom.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't get enough of the symbiote suit. I think they ignored Secret Wars altogether and didn't give us, you know, they gave us bits and pieces. They basically showed us comic book covers and was like, this is it. This is the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Brian Singer style.
Hey, yo.
Sticky papers.
In the industry, you know. Yeah.
Brian Singer style, boy. Like, I'm gonna read the cover. I'm gonna look at the cover of this comic book. It's a movie now. But as far as DC, like to James's point, DC definitely has the material, and had they legit just did a live action version of the animated movies, it wouldn't have been no question. It would have been no question. Like, no one would have questioned the fact that, oh, this is the same storyline of the animated film.
Yeah.
No one would have questioned that. Like, for example, the Justice League War, I think is what it was, when they first ran into Darkseid. Like, and that's when all the characters kind of came together. Like, the dynamic that they built between Barry and Hal, gorgeous. Hal's reaction to Bruce having satellite dishes. You know what I'm saying? He was like, he probably has satellite dishes. Like, yeah, I do. You know what I'm saying? Like that thing right there, that's magic. That's pure magic that they could have actually done in film, and it would have been great. If the storyline was great, if the studio didn't have much meddling with what was going on, we would have had a decent DCU.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I don't agree that Aquaman was good. I
liked it. I actually liked it.
It was so cringy. It was so cringy. And the reason why it was cringy was because of the fact that they kept honing in on his Hawaiian heritage. I get it. He's Samoan. Like, we don't need you to keep having him do the Hawaiian thing the entire time and really trying to tie that into why he's Aquaman.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost appropriation. It's almost appropriation, Doug. I couldn't take it.
You know, I like when Aquaman felt more mysterious. I think the film was like when he was first introduced, and that's why I'm saying it should be a reboot for everybody. Because
I disagree. I disagree with everybody on this screen.
Wait, with what?
I disagree. Y'all ain't looking at that. They ain't spent probably $400 million on these movies. You want them to cancel.
It's not even saying cancel, dude. You know what? It's saying stop fishing, because this is
no pun intended.
We got to cut a check. We got to cut it.
You're right. You're right.
Look, and James Gunn is just playing a great salesman. He don't like that Flash movie. He just saying that that's why he said it's gonna be a soft reboot, because they basically told him, hey, we already shot Aquaman and Flash.
Yeah,
we ain't doing shit about it. Whatever you want to do, you better figure out how to include that in there somehow. Then you can move forward.
But why didn't we get a Batgirl movie then? They had already shot that movie.
I heard that. I heard it was trash. I heard that was trash, bro.
Oh,
you heard it was trash?
Apparently,
they spent $50 million on it and took a
L. It was goofy.
It was probably better to have made it into a series.
There you go,
a limited series.
So even the series that had got canceled, like they
could have spun that. But then again, everything that the CW had put out was absolute garbage. Besides Arrow and Flash.
Yeah,
true.
Like what is it? Heroes of Tomorrow, whatever that show was. That was.
I like Superman. I do like Superman and Lois. That's good.
That's fire.
That's good. Well written.
That's a good one. That's a good balance.
And I like the casting.
All them Dave Berlanti shows, cancel them. I'm glad all this is getting canceled. We starting all over. Cancel all this shit.
Legit.
All of it's gone.
Honestly,
I don't want no more CW stuff. Put it all on HBO Max. I want to hear cussing. I want to hear slapping. I want all that stuff. I don't want no teen love stories. I don't want none of that. Give me my Green Lanterns.
That's the name of this episode. I want to hear cursing.
Yeah, I want to hear cursing.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if I'm gonna do a series, I'm doing it. I want to hear some cuss. I can put my kid to bed at 9. I can do, I can listen do that. Then if I go to the theater, I go to see the theater joints. So I think this is a great risk, but it could be a great failure too because of the risk. But he's being somewhat smart by doing smaller characters to kind of boost it up. He basically looking at how the MCU did. They didn't go straight to Captain America. they kind of built up other characters and then went after their bigger characters towards, and that's what I think he's trying to build. Because the Superman movie comes out to like after those 2 or 3 other films, then Superman is being rebooted.
Yeah.
So I think he's waiting on that. And they're doing a Damian Wayne, which is dope.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's waiting for Damian Wayne on the screen.
Yeah.
Yo, just to say this real quick too, because I know it seems like it when we be in the group, chopping it up. I don't dislike Gunn. I just don't like him for this position. I just feel like he was the major competition at one point, and now you bringing him in to.
Oh, you saying just because he used to be a Crip and you a Blood, like how you say that.
Hey, yo, listen, I'm gonna keep it 100. That's where I'm at with it. You brought my main enemy, like you brought this kid tight about
what
he
already came over and did the Suicide Squad. It's not like you just pulled him out of nowhere. They got to see his work. They got to work with him and see how he runs a.
But his money is the work didn't bring in what you would think. And the bad thing about
the Suicide Squad that was strictly streaming, wasn't it? And it did gangbusters, I believe, right?
Yeah, I mean, we gotta think about the time too, man. Like we were
pandemic.
Yeah, we were still hard in pandemic.
Yeah,
that was going to hurt anybody. Yeah, except for Marvel.
But in a sense, where I'm at with it is, I love what he does. I love his work. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of certain stuff. You know, Peacemaker, I think is fire. You know what I mean? Because you get to go deep dive with this character and all that comes with it, right? The film, I was like, all right, y'all already know my beef. A couple little, I get the cheesiness, gotta be there to balance out I just shot this kid, he dead. You know, like, so there's a lot that I understand they trying to do for general audiences. But, you know, when it just comes to this, the fact that Warner Brothers brought him on, it's just like, I feel like, damn, this nigga, he ain't even finished working on the Marvel stuff. Like, yo, bro, and y'all already done, yo, come on.
Yeah, they already gave him the keys to the kingdom. I think
he made Polka Dot Man work.
That's true.
He made Polka Man.
I'm not knocking him. I'm for it. You know what? It's time. I'm gonna look. You know, I'm a fan of Zach.
Look, and it's the messed up part.
Moon when that comes out.
Look, and you're gonna be bugged out when what movie is this that's gonna come out, and you're gonna be like, damn, this shit's good. I don't even know who this is. I'm gonna tell you this movie. When I saw the slate, it wasn't Blue Beetle. It was hold on, it wasn't the Black Canary joint. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was like some group of people that's basically like this Justice League, but they
Creature Commandos.
No,
is that them like
Creature Commandos or the Authority? Because the Authority is
the Authority. Okay,
Authority.
Yeah, and we don't even know. I ain't even know who they are. And that's gonna be better than anything that Zack Snyder came out with in the DCEU. If I got a feeling, just because it's gonna be it. He already did that with Guardians of the Galaxy. We didn't know who Groot was. How many people really read Guardians of the Galaxy? I knew Star-Lord was just because he had a gun. You know, like you knew Rocket Raccoon because he was a raccoon with a gun. Yeah. And he's like, I don't know his backstory, but he made us care about them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is that Gunn is able to do that. And that's why I think this is a big coup for them. I think DC is going in the right direction by getting Gunn and hurting Marvel, if anything. By doing,
you know what, and to be honest with you, it is a smart move to do the Authority because you get the LGBT crowd on your side on that one. Because I'm telling you right now, because Authority, you got Apollo, which is basically another Superman, and you got the Midnighter, who's basically Batman if he was the Punisher. So and they are married, and it's two dudes, same sex married couple. So they're gonna get the LGBT crew on their side on that GP alone. As long as the story being told good, but they got that on space. And I know it was like. What I mean, I know people like, but why do you have to say it? But it's the truth. I'm just saying, just how the industry works. So
let me ask you all a question. How do you all feel about the whole Elseworld aspect?
Oh, I'm with it because I always do. I always love Elseworld, man.
Like, look, low key, the Swamp Thing. That Swamp Thing TV show was good, low key.
It really was.
You mentioned that before, and I never.
It was good, Jules. It was good, man. It's better than Titans.
Absolutely.
And then Swamp Thing is like probably
and they just canceled it for no reason.
Dude, Swamp Thing is so underrated as a character, G. Because
but that TV show was good, man. It had you set up the season 2 well, the whole 9. And I didn't even trip off that it was over. I was like, oh snap! I ran through 7 episodes like that.
Yeah. No, Swamp Thing was actually legit. The storyline was dope. The build up, the character development was crazy. I thought my only recollection of Swamp Thing was the old movie. And
I forgot about that. I forgot about that old movie, man.
And then to see that they were doing this, I was like, "Yo, this is gonna be crazy good. It's gonna be crazy good." But they played it. They did it real dirty. They did it real dirty.
And then y'all gotta have more faith in this schedule, man.
I do. I'm willing to watch it. Listen, I'm willing to go through it. I'm willing to see
Peacemaker season 2. You know, the Waller TV show. I mean, you're gonna have
that's gonna be hard. The Waller is gonna be hard.
With her.
Yeah. Huh?
So that's another thing too. Is Waller like you don't want to switch that out, man? It just. But she's
Viola Davis is hot right now.
Keep Waller. No, Amanda Waller. No, she works, bro.
Viola Davis is hot right now in the industry. They go want her to be on screen.
For the DCEU, to be honest, let's keep it real.
Let's keep it 100. Yeah.
She's too good for it. Let's
keep it 100.
She is, but she makes Amanda Waller work beautiful.
But she's too good. I'm talking about acting wise. She's too good for a comic book.
Absolutely.
Role.
Absolutely.
I just feel like they messed up, man, having her at the end of Black Adam and then Sue come out, man. I just feel like, man, that was the perfect. And Black Adam.
I don't even want to get into that, man, because I don't even want to be. I'm already trying to get over the fact that they did Henry Cavill dirty on that one, Breslin. But
yeah, that was.
When I thought you was going to talk about Steph earlier, when you said one interest, I'm not sure it's his Paradise Lost one too. That's going to take us to Themyscira.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Paradise Lost is going to be probably one of the dopest shows that they're going to have. One, because people are still riding the high of Game of Thrones. So you giving us Game of Thrones and Wonder Woman, which people really don't know much about the Amazonians at all. Like, let's get it. Yeah. Let's get it. Let's see the women Amazons or whatever like go up against some of your favorite Greek gods.
It's Greek mythology all day.
I'm pretty sure we're going to see Zeus. Zeus is definitely going to be in there. We're gonna see a lot of power struggle with that. We're gonna see some power struggle happening with regular man from the mainlands. Power struggle within their ranks. It's gonna be crazy.
No, that's facts. Because you got so many stories you could tell with that part. Like you bring in her sister Nubia, the Black Wonder Woman. You can bring in her twin brother Jason. You can bring in you can bring in fucking Grail, which is Darkseid's daughter.
Yeah,
just have Amazonian. It's so many ways you can go with it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be stupid crazy. But I also wonder too, like if they're casting people correctly, because I know James Gunn said something about how he wanted the actors to also do the voiceovers for the animated films. Yep. And a lot of times, a lot of people who do the voices don't match what you think it would look like, as far as on film, for that matter. I really wonder how that's gonna work, and then also translate over to like video games. I mean, obviously, everybody will get paid nicely because now you're doing everything. But I wonder how that's gonna work.
Well, I mean, you can make it work because I see the potential of what he's trying to do, because you can still make everything one interconnected franchise / universe with it if you keep everything in like kind of like how they did with like live action Constantine when the CW had a live action Constantine or Hellblazer, and then they actually did when they did the animated just like Justice League Dark and everything like that. It was straight up the same person and it worked, like for real worked. I can see the potential in that, you know what I'm saying? I really can, you know, but again, it just depends on who you cast, because we already know Mark Hamill, he's not doing the Joker.
He's not coming back, no.
Nah. After Kevin Conroy died, rest in peace, like, he just like, nope, I'm retired, I'm good. So I was like, well, I mean, but it's plenty of people who can do, you know, good Joker, like, you know, so I mean, it's just depends on who you're trying to guess.
What is that? It's a small production company called Bat in the Sun or something like that.
Yes,
they got a guy who plays an amazing Joker. They even got a guy who plays an amazing Batman. They're like an old grizzled Batman.
I know exactly
actually really dope.
I think was that the same crew that did back in the day when it was like that Batman versus Predator? Was that the same people?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the exact same studio they did.
They did a Batman versus Predator.
Dude, that was
look it up.
Fire. Look it up.
Bro.
It was fire.
This is in the early days.
It was fire, man.
Dog. This is pre-Christopher.
What's crazy about that? What's crazy about that is the fact that they can do that on such a low budget with the accuracy of costume and just the aesthetics and everything else. But we got billions of dollars going into these films, and we can't even get the costume and even the characteristics right half the time.
It's all about the love of the characters. It's the love of the characters and the source material. That, like Absolutely. I said earlier, like if you love the characters and you love the source material, no, you'll make it work. Like it's kind of like what even though this ain't DC, it's kind of like when they did like it was a little short movie with Thomas Jane. He reprised himself as Punisher when it was like the Punisher doing the laundry and how that was dope and how that worked beautifully. Now,
that was fire.
That was fire the way they did that.
Yeah.
So like you got fans of the source material legit doing stuff and like, hey, we'll take X amount of time to make this work and here you go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
so is it Batman Dead End?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that there gave me faith in the film industry right there. It was just beautifully done, man. It was absolutely gorgeous, and that studio keeps pumping out good stuff because I know they not to get too far off the topic, but I know that they do a lot of the character v character. So they have like Batman v Darth Vader. They have like a Batman v.
Oh, they're the ones that start doing those, like the mid 2000s. They were doing those where like
Deadpool versus
different matchups.
Yep. I think it's the same studio.
It was Death Battle before Death Battle. So
yeah. But no, I agree. Having love for the source material is definitely key.
What's Robin's name? His birth name?
Which one?
Dick Grayson.
Batman Robin.
Which one?
Like, what's his birth name?
Which one? Dick Grayson.
You talking about the first one? Yeah, Dick Grayson. Yeah, Dick Grayson.
So they did a fan film of Grayson, and they it was like a trailer. This years ago.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Fire at that time, man. Like I'm telling you, with a budget of what? $10.
And keep in mind, Zack Snyder still ain't got it right with a $300 million budget.
So
Snyder gets in his own way, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Give this man James Gunn a chance. And I'm wondering because I still want them to do Justice League Dark and have because Guillermo del Toro was the director originally.
Yeah.
Like with Constantine and all them, man, you already know he's gonna rip it with having all those mystical art people in there. Guillermo del Toro will kill that.
I was surprised that they didn't come to him for Doctor Strange.
Bro.
That's a good
bro. That would have been insane because we would have definitely seen more of those like interdimensional creatures that we've seen in the comic book because he's really big on practical effects.
Because how he did the first two Hellboy movies,
puppetry and all of that jazz.
Because how he did the first two Hellboy movies, man.
Yeah, absolutely,
like, for real.
Absolutely. I mean, I would go to him for any of them. Not saying there's anything wrong with Sam Raimi, but Sam Raimi is fairly one-dimensional when it comes to his films. He does some of the same camera tricks, which are great and is very nostalgic, but it's dated.
Yeah.
We've seen it before. So, but Guillermo, his is always timeless because he never stays the same. He stays the same with the love and passion and going into it, but his approach is always different to me. But again, having that love for the source material, I think James Gunn definitely does have it. I do agree with you, D. He definitely has that. He's definitely spoke heavily about that.
Mm-hmm.
Heavily about that. Although I do wish we probably we canceled the Flash movie just because of all of
that dude being on
Miller's
they spent too much money on they can't cancel it. They ran the numbers. How many more streams we can get? They ran all the numbers.
My dude had somebody hostage.
Steph, it don't matter. They spent $200 million on that bad boy. They can't that genie out the bottle.
I would have reshot every scene with the guy who what's his name? Grant from the CW show.
Grant Gustin.
I would have just brought him in. He's a perfect.
I'm good on him.
Look, low key, that man could have murdered somebody. And they still gonna come out with that movie.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm going on Grant.
Just because it was $250-300 million.
Well, we could have easily got rid of that Flash movie and just used the Batman as the catalyst to redo the shoot.
Murder somebody. Doggone, they trying to lock up accidentally on the shoot.
Alec Baldwin.
Alec
Baldwin.
Yeah. And they still was trying to come out the movie, and that budget wasn't nowhere close to $250 million.
This is
so
true.
Imagine
and that was involuntary, and that was on accident. He did
right. I'm saying this person actually could have killed somebody. They still would have come out with the movie and be like,
you can make your money back. You can sell it to a streaming service. You can make your money back.
Yeah, but I'm talking about you can't make on the Flash. I think the Flash budget is $250. I think.
Listen, my thing is I wanted. Look, they should have deaded that. Put it out however else you wanted to. Let it go though.
That's like, a fifth of a billion. Nah, they ain't gonna take a loss on $1/5 of a billion, bro. That's a $1/5 of a billion.
300 million. It's 300
million. So a little under a third.
They could have murdered people. He could have murdered people. They still is coming out with it.
Yeah.
Well then, so since we're not gonna get the we're not getting Patterson as our DCU Batman, he's gonna be an elsewhere Batman. And then I go ahead and fan cast Jensen Ankle as our Batman Bruce Wayne.
I used to see that.
Boy.
He's been campaigning for that for a long time. Whether it's Red Hood or Batman.
Bro, he played an awesome Red Hood in Batman and the Red Hood in the anime verse. He played a stellar Red Hood in it, man.
Like I think he'll be perfect. He's young enough. He has that grizzled kind of mentality about him.
Too. That's the only reason I didn't like Robert Pattinson as much, because he felt like he was like a grifter. Like that, remember The Outsiders when we was kids? That TV show.
Yeah,
it felt like Robert Pattinson versus The Outsiders version. Like he was like a greaser. And then he becomes Batman. Like I mean, my Batman need to be kind of fly during the day.
Yeah,
like my only issue with that movie.
How low key how Ben Affleck did Bruce Wayne. That was that was hard. He was hard as fly.
Robert Pattinson was emo version.
Yeah.
He was
Kurt Cobain. He was Kurt Cobain.
Well, and then too,
he was Kurt Cobain. Yes, James.
We're talking year one Batman, so he doesn't have it all together. You know what I'm saying?
Ben had 20. Ben had 20 years, so it's kind of.
Man, but I'm just saying, man.
He didn't lost to Robin.
Kurt Cobain. I thought he was gonna kill himself every minute.
Yeah. I agree.
I just Kurt Cobain.
Bro, like I just want to see them do a Dick Grayson joint and do it correctly, man. Like, because Dick Grayson, if done right, dude, he would be so much better than almost every other superhero in the DCU. Like, if done easily,
storyline
easily,
his road, his journey to becoming Nightwing.
Bro, like he's like what happened if Bruce Wayne had the optimism of Superman, and like it's like, hey, what happened if Bruce Wayne wasn't an a-hole? What if he actually got past his period of trauma and then wasn't an a-hole to people?
We wouldn't have Batman. He would be just a wealthy ass man who sexed down anything that he could. It wouldn't be Batman. He'd just be the pipe.
The pipe.
Billionaire pipe.
Not the pipe.
Legit. Like he wouldn't be Batman at all. But like I feel like they tried to do that with the Titan series, but they just didn't know what they wanted with that series. That or they probably didn't have the backing and budget, because the way they did Beast Boy was garbage. They brought in I forgot my dude name, but they brought him in as Bruce Wayne. He was hella old and then wanted me to believe that he can pull these moves off in that fight scene between him and Dick. I was like, nah, Doug.
Stop that. Titans?
Yeah, in the Titan series.
Yeah, I gave up this season, man. I had to let it go.
I did.
Deathstroke to me was the best. But like to me, Deathstroke was the best person I've seen on Titans, man. Like how the hell they did Deathstroke?
That was the only good person. Season 2 of Arrow was the best, and after that, out the window.
Absolutely.
Out the window.
Although they tried to make Arrow our Batman.
Yeah.
With the scruffy voice, and what do you say? You failed this city. Like it was just
nobody cared about Star City.
You said what?
Nobody
Where?
goes to Star City. Star City. That's like Cleveland.
It's like,
Trenton. That's Trenton, New Jersey.
Oh,
I'm not even gonna give him that much props with Cleveland. That's Trenton.
they said it's Detroit, bro. That's Detroit.
You never thought about what Star City was, huh, James? You didn't think about what city that was.
Oh God, no! I'm just mad. I'm mad you said Cleveland. G.
He just cleaned up Cleveland. It ain't even no major city. No disrespect to our people from Cleveland that are listening, but I'm just saying Gotham and Metropolis and a couple other places got a lot more going on than Star City.
This is true.
Yeah.
I mean, he did what Flash had the Trickster, which is basically like a low budget Joker.
Oh my God.
And then played him too. On the
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. Yeah.
Mark Hamill. Yeah.
Yeah. Was a good cast.
Saying,
I
brother,
ain't mad at it because he did the live action
James
version and the animated version of the Trickster, which was dope.
Yeah, he did.
Give him a
Yeah,
chance,
he did.
y'all. Give it a chance, James. I know I know you didn't like that the way he's on y'all team now. It's kind of like when the Green Ranger changed over to being a full Power Ranger for you, huh?
Bro, I'm not. That's more so Jules than me, dog. Like that's Jules more so than me. Like so I'm willing to give it a
Jules
shot.
on the Power Rangers team. He don't want the Green Ranger with his extra Zord and shit. He's like, but you was rolling with them before,
Right?
I don't want
You coming over here with this flute, bruh? We ain't got no
You
flute.
don't want the flute and the extra Zord. None of that.
Over
Jules
here,
don't want that.
river dancing with a flute and you got a dragon. That's
Kicking
jacked up,
folks
kid.
kicking folks out there Megazords and they give them hands on the ground.
Legit.
That's
Hey, yo, he did do that.
that's a childhood memory of mine that will stay with me forever, dog.
He definitely ran in their spot, kicked them out, and then gave them hands on the ground.
When
That's
the
crazy.
boy, when the Red Ranger said, "Hey man, you fight me," and he threw that dagger and said, "Oh, here you go." Wow. I was like, I was like,
rest in peace, Jason Franks, man, too. Man.
Absolutely.
dog. Yeah, rest in peace to him, dog. Because I was like, but yeah,
That's
man.
crazy.
But now for real, like, but I do want to see what DC does. I just want them to take their time.
Yeah.
And just stay faithful to the source material and don't try to make everything one singular tone. Like I said, do what the MCU did and just like, hey, if you like how like the idea, like I said earlier, with the true detective style of the Green Lantern Corps, that works because Green Lantern Corps they 12. So it works. That works for them. A Law and Order true detective style, that works.
Mm-hmm.
You give me if you give me a Greek epic like Paradise Lost, that works. You give me a hopeful what's the name of a hopeful storyline with Superman, because it's all-star Superman based, that works. You give me a fish out of water story and kind of like a John Hughes fish out of water story with Supergirl because she's a true loner in the scenario, that works. If you do stuff like that and just keep it like that, it's like, again, it writes itself.
Yeah.
It writes itself. So you just have to, like I say, it's not like they don't have the characters to do it. Easily, you got the stories and the characters to do. Just do that and just don't go affect it and get people who actually would be able to translate that well. Don't just have people like, oh, we're gonna take 1,000 liberties. No, I mean some liberties, okay, but don't take 1,000 liberties, man. Like just for people to change shit. Like, don't do that, man. Like, no, don't do that. Because it's just then you're gonna be back at square one again. That's just how I feel. But that's the only thing I would say the concern is. But since St. Louis is involved, I got faith in St. Louis right now. So we're gonna see what happens.
Steph, your final thoughts. We'll let Jules get the last thoughts since he had the first thoughts off the top. So we'll let him. Steph, your last thoughts.
My last thought. So I have faith. I have faith that we're going to see something that that the DCU hasn't seen before at all. I do hope that they take in consideration that that DC is not it's not made for children. It's very adult based. A lot of the storylines, a lot of what happens is very adult, and I feel like they can find that nice balance. I mean, make your toys with your animated, with your animated stuff. That's cool. But as far as these movies go, let's try to keep it as mature as we possibly can. Keep it close to the source material. I do look forward to seeing everything they got coming. the Batman Brave and the Bold. I look forward to seeing that. I really look forward to seeing that dynamic between like how Bruce is going to try to handle his assassin raised son. That's going to be actually pretty dope. And like I said before, Supergirl is going to be an interesting movie. And I look forward to seeing Swamp Thing more or less than anything else. I'm not looking forward to Booster Gold.
I kind of am, man. I'd look at him like a crazy quantum leap.
Bro,
that's exactly what it's gonna be. He's gonna be a con artist that, but it makes sense though. If I'm a loser in the future, I'm gonna go ahead and figure out a way to go to the past.
Yes,
and all this extra dope shit. Doug, I am the greatest, so maybe I will watch it.
But it works though, because he's a con artist that actually becomes legit over time. So it does work. It does work.
I feel like we're gonna get a Peacemaker kind of vibe from this show.
I think
so.
I want that. I want that.
Yeah.
I would even go so far to say
Faison
Booster Gold and Peacemaker.
Donald Faison is rumored to be the one he's finna pick.
Oh,
Booster Gold.
Okay.
That's an interesting look.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. So all in all, bottom line, I am here to see what they end up doing with the DCU. But I have to admit, I'm extra hyped for this Batman sequel. For the Batman sequel, I'm extra hyped for that.
Yeah.
Outside of Patterson's Kurt Cobain approach, I'm very about it.
What about the Joker?
Jules, it's on you. You got our last final thoughts.
Hey, listen, I'm pretty good with moving forward. I'm good with moving forward. I think it's gonna be a good thing. I just think I need to leave the groups that I'm in on Facebook. Restore the Snyderverse, Snyder Kings. What's the other one?
Are they all real? Because they be feeling like they trolls to me. Like it's like a troll farm, like a Snyder troll farm.
It's unhealthy, and I'm gonna keep it 100. And I'm gonna keep it 100. Listen, because I'm a fan of Zach. Yeah, I know my dedication to that man's work, but I'm also a realist as far as like, look, it's the end of the road, man. And so for me, it's like just reading some of their posts and comments. I'll be screenshotting, ready to post it on the group, just so you guys can see how some of these dudes is they wilding. They really Gunn. I'm not watching nothing Gunn put out. Hamada killed it. I didn't watch anything since Hamada. But it's like, listen, bro, I'm gonna watch it for the culture. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna watch every single movie that comes out moving forward. There's nothing I'm gonna not watch and say, oh, I'm not gonna watch it because Gunn. Nah, man, I appreciate all of it that comes out under the umbrella of comic book movies in general, because when sitting back, looking back at, I don't know what I was watching from Marvel, Ultron. I was watching Ultron like a month ago, and I was like, it's still a gem, even though I felt like it could have been way better. These movies are classics now. Like when you look back at them and you really understand, like for the time that they came out, they did what they could do, man, and you gotta appreciate it no matter what. Like even if you feel like it was whack, it still has to be appreciation for it because the culture of it lives stronger. You know what I'm saying? And then you get more feedback, and you're able to actually get different stories told on different scales. Like, come on, let's keep it 100. Andor, on the level that they gave us Andor, you're like, oh, Last of Us right now. Like it's
yeah.
For the culture itself, it's a necessary thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm good with moving forward, man, and definitely if Ben Affleck does a little directing, I'm hyped for that because y'all know that man, he nice with the directing.
I just need him to come back as Batman, though. I'm sorry, he's
but
my
I'll
favorite.
tell you what they can do. You want to shut all the fans up who just don't want to move forward? Animate all of it. You know how they could do an animation with the story and have the voiceovers done by all of the people that actually would have been in the film. And just
or to do a live action Elseworld.
Close. Huh?
Do a live action Elseworld. It doesn't have to be canon.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, they can, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah. So for me,
they got a plan now. It feels like at least they got a plan.
They do have a plan.
Before they got to that. What year was that Comic-Con? Was it 2009 when they saw that trailer for Avengers? Woo! And they was like, "Hey, we got one too." Like what? Hold on. Yeah.
I remember
that. They literally, I swear that, because they literally the next day they announced we have the DCEU. No trailers, no art footage, no nothing. They just like, yeah, we got one. Justice League coming out 2016, Justice League 2, 2017. And then it was like Cyborg. They just start naming out random movies. They have nobody cast for nothing, just naming random movies.
So they rolled it out the same way they rolled out all the characters in Batman v Superman.
Yep.
Just a random ass email file with their symbols on it.
Yeah, that was kind of cheesy though. I know.
That's because that came from the original meeting.
Yo,
that's the exact document that they had in the meeting.
I didn't even have the. Listen. We got to get Superman and Batman. Has to get back to that place where I Am Legend had that billboard up. That anticipation build up from that moment when we seen that on the screen, because those like you guys always say, these are the top tier players for DC, man. We got to get back to that status.
Yeah.
Not this 1984 Wonder Woman status. Not, you know what I'm saying? You got to literally get back to that powerhouse again.
Low-key, that was a terrible movie.
Huh?
I'm sorry, high key. That was a terrible movie. That 1984. That was.
Oh my god, bro! Ooh.
I've been trying to decide if that's worse than Suicide Squad.
And I like Shazam, and but I'm like,
man, look, that first Suicide Squad movie, like I said, I'll never forget. I said next to this Negro and Ted. When I say they was flaming the whole movie,
I swear to God, we those Muppets, man, those angry Muppets in the
Waldorf and Statler.
Yes,
Waldorf and Statler.
See, I grew up in the 70s, so all the music to me was like, yeah, come on. Remember we went to see Jupiter Ascending?
Us three went to see that. You went to see that as what James too? Didn't we all three of us?
Nah, I think it was just me and you, D.
No.
Nah, that was an L for the team right there. That was that. We gotta get.
And that's when Homeboy was skating in the air, right?
Yep.
With the ears,
that was a terrible movie.
The ears.
He was right on that Magic Mike high. And it was like he could do anything.
I forgot all about that movie.
He can do anything.
Yeah, I forgot about that movie.
So listen, a couple things we do got looking forward to. We can look forward to. Nothing to do with the genre. Fast 10. I don't care what anybody says. I grew up, I was out there two-door.
So where are they going with Fast? So where are they going with Fast 10 at this point? Like, so are we?
They already went to space.
No, they got to stay in space.
So they drifted on Saturn.
Like who?
Right. Nah, they're not doing none of that.
Like what's going on?
But like the last film, honestly, the backstory of Toretto and his brother they introduced, that was kind of dope. Like if they kind of built on that a little bit. But in this one, I'm pretty sure they're gonna go all out. Of course, all it is G.I. Joe. Let's keep it 100. Mm-hmm. It's never been nothing less. It's Knight Rider, G.I. Joe.
It's Saints Row. Like
I'm saying,
it's Saints Row.
It's Saints Row.
It's Saints Row. It's Saints Row.
I've been waiting for them to do a crossover with Transformers. That would be the ultimate movie. They might as well just do that.
It's Saints Row, dude.
Now listen,
just do the storyline of Saints Row 4.
Y'all know this new Transformers is it. This is I need this one.
Beast Wars.
Hopefully,
you know it.
So, okay. I got my issues with Transformers. All right, I'm sorry. I got my issues with Transformers because I understand that robots in disguise.
Y'all know it's gonna be a bad movie, right?
It's gonna be terrible. So
why I don't agree with you? Because your man directed this one. I just feel like,
Jules, you've been holding on for a good Transformers movie since the first one. Every time,
but the first and third one I liked.
The third one was my
first
favorite.
one, the third one, and Bumblebee was dope. Yeah. I like those.
Bumblebee's the only one that was good.
1, 3, and Bumblebee.
I'm gonna say 1, 3, and 5. 5 I thought was good. It was a lot going on, but
is that the King Arthur one?
I kind of like.
Yeah, that's where we got what the dinosaur.
No, 1, 3, and Bumblebee for me. 1, 3,
and
Bumblebee.
1, 3, Bumblebee.
Yeah. I have a problem with their ability of scaling and proportions.
Yeah.
You can't give me a gorilla Optimus and he's the same height as Optimus fully transformed, bro. Like, how
And
are
I
you?
gotta
How
give
are
you
you
a
hiding?
difference. Like, everybody look exactly the same? I don't know who's fighting who.
Right.
But this is
That's
the
what I'm
thing.
saying.
This is why we gotta support it though, because the brother directed this one. Let me tell you why. He directed Creed 2, and Creed 2 was fire. And all I'm saying is, we out of the typecasting, like we can only do power and whatever else in that sense. So for me, I'm like excited because
I didn't
like
know
one
that
of
was
us
his brother.
is
I
doing
mean, he did that other movie too. That was dope. Funny thing, based in Cleveland. The movie he did before Creed 2. What is that movie, man? It was actually real good. Had Erykah Badu in it. It was also Skateboard Kids.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm finna tell y'all. So you got me thinking Stephen Caple was the director.
Yeah.
He did it was called The Land. It's real good. If y'all could check it out, it's real good. It's basically about some skateboarding kids in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And that's how we got Creed 2.
Wait a minute, is that the one with? Was that the one with Atreus from God of War in it?
This
Is
one's
that the
got
same one?
Erykah Badu in it. Couple of a lot of young actors. Michael K. Williams is in it. Machine Gun Kelly's in it.
Yeah.
Is this before Machine Gun Kelly became this like weird?
Yeah, this is
star?
2016.
Okay,
It's 2016. This is when he was like,
Okay.
This is Wigger.
It's before his
Machine
career
Gun
got
Kelly.
demolished.
Yeah, this 2016.
This is
2015.
This is for your beard is weird.
Yeah, this before he started messing with Megan Fox.
pre Haley comment. Gotcha.
Yeah. But no, okay,
Megan Fox.
you got me now, man. This dude was a good director. Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. And when you look at like some of the characters, they really resemble, back in the day. I feel like this kid grew up in the midst of the whole Transformer era, and
Beast Wars,
I get to do the Beast Wars movie. You know what I mean? So I'm hyped for that reason alone, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm hyped. Michael Bay is good.
Ooh.
Michael Bay always make us look goofy too.
I don't know, fellas. I'm
No. Well, hold on. Because of Bad Boys, I'm gonna have to because of Bad Boys, I'm gonna have to go ahead and give Jules a pass on it because I ain't gonna front like the Bad Boys. I won't watch all day every day. I cannot front on that.
Oh, that's my joint.
I can't front on that.
When you watch
I
Bad
cannot
Boys,
front on that.
Michael Bay stay directing a lot of goofy jokes among the minorities.
No, I'm talking about the writer.
All of Michael Bay movies resemble GoldenEye from '64. Everything blows up. Tables, chairs, file cabinets, everything catches fire, bro. Like,
look, now Ninja Turtles, he could have kept that dumpster fire, man. He could have kept that dumpster fire. That was Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, but I tell you what, though,
they can't get that property right at all.
13 Hours was fire from Michael Bay. That was fire.
We watched The Ambulance the other night.
What you thought?
It was a Michael Bay film. It was the sun flare. You had the strobe lights going on behind them, the circular camera motion, the shaky in your face thing. Like they had Jake Gyllenhaal like acting like Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird.
I thought it was an unnecessary film. Like I watched it on the strength, but I felt like, where's this gonna go from this point? Like, what's the point?
The plot was weird because dude could have even been like, "Nah, I don't want to do this," and go home.
Yeah. They should have made him the cop and his man did the robbery. Right. And now I gotta get you, man. You my best friend. Oh, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, legit. That would have been a better storyline other than like, I'm desperate. I'm a vet. I need this money.
What's the movie that he did for Netflix? It was with Ryan Reynolds, man, and it was
the Red
Notice? Huh?
The Red Notice?
No, it was with Ryan Reynolds, and it was about I think they was doing heists or something like that. And 9 something or something like that. I forgot.
Yeah, Underground 6 or something like
Underground 6 or something. Yeah. That's Michael Bay.
Yeah, that was decent.
Yeah.
That was all right.
I feel like that was more well written, and it was more placed to be like a fun film to watch.
Yeah.
And I think Ryan Reynolds made it that way.
Yeah.
He made it a fun film to watch. But Michael Bay, he has his gems, but then he also just has that garbage. He'd be like, "Yep, I'm getting paid."
Oh yeah.
Ninja Turtles.
Well, everybody,
Ninja
let us know
Turtles.
where. Hey, Steph, where can people hit you up at, my man?
Oh, you can hit me up on Facebook and also Instagram. Digital Co-op. You can catch me every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, streaming live on both Twitch and Facebook.
All right, Jules, where can people hit you up at?
Facebook, IG, Jules Unique, same right there. There go the name.
All right. The Oracle, where can I hit you up at?
Everything social media at JBJR official. Make sure you keep on checking out everything SOLC related, including this. Check out Fresh Produce. Got a interview with NPR through St. Louis NPR, so check it out. Fresh Produce.
Congrats.
Other than that, thank you. Make sure y'all check that out, and hopefully we get some more episodes in, man. Because
we on a roll.
Yeah, let's do it. We didn't even talk about the general entertainment, like movies and TV shows and all that. So there's a lot. Yeah,
the pandemic was the hard spell, man. It was just horrible stuff coming out, man.
Yeah.
And it's partly Warner Brothers' fault, but I'm not even going to go into all that. But thank y'all for listening. Always hit us up, the Lando Cal Experience on everywhere. And we'll be back soon. I ain't gonna tell you when. We'll be back soon. When we pop up in your feed, we pop up in the feed.
Yeah.
Peace.